Ronny Rios, how are you, my friend?
Good, good. I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. I hope everything is well with you guys.
It is. Thank you for asking.
Of course, man.
Yeah, I've been as we were just talking off camera. Yeah, it looks like you're really enjoying Liverpool. You're taking it all in. Dream come true to be in the UK, my friend.
Oh man, I love it out here. I've always wanted to come to the UK. You know, obviously, as somebody that grew up in Southern California, all I knew was London at an early age. So I always wanted to visit London, but you know, UK has been awesome. I love it out here. I love the food. You know, sometimes I feel like people probably think we're rude because we're American, you know, and somebody was telling me that there's a stereotype, I guess. I don't know. But man, everyone that we've bumped into have been nice. Memories. I love you guys' architecture. It's awesome out here.
But you do know on October the 5th, I don't think they're going to be that nice to you, right? This is Nick Ball's. This is his hometown. He runs around Liverpool every day. There's not a window that he hasn't run past. I can't imagine they'll be that friendly to you on October the 5th.
Might not, and it's okay. I don't expect anybody to be friendly to me, and it's not going to help me or it's not going to go against me to win. I'm here to do my job. I'm here to capture my dream. That's what I'm here for, you know, and that's what we're getting ready for to bring that title back home.
You had a little bit of a layoff, and you took on MJ, just come up short that night, and then a couple of years away. My understanding is there was a little bit of soul searching, a little bit of, do I want to do this?
Yeah.
How glad are you that you did stick at it, because it's led to this?
I'm very glad, you know. I retired after the MJ fight. There was just, you know, there's a lot of stuff that happens behind closed doors that people aren't aware of, whether it's your team, whether it's, I don't know, whether anything, right? With me, it was very personal. It got very personal. I hated the sport. I walked away. I didn't, you know, time went by. I got a little fluffy. I got a little overweight. And I had a job, you know, I had money saved up. And I told my wife, I was like, you know what, babe? I was like, it's just, I don't feel 100%. And she asked me, she said, why? I said, because I know I can still win that title. I'm still young enough. I'm still hungry enough. And she told me, she said, why don't you go for it again? And I was like, you know what? I was like, I had a huge fallout with my previous team. And she's like, well, who would you get as a coach? And I was like, I don't know. And we started talking. And she said, well, what about my current coaches, Chuy Gutierrez and Frank Barajas? She said, why don't you try them? And I was just very skeptical. I was like, you know what, babe? I was like, I don't know what kind of experience they have. Do they have enough experience to help me get to the world title? And she's like, you know what, babe? She's like, your previous team, how many fighters did they have that were challengers for the world title? And I was like, none. How many people did they take to the Olympic trials? I was like, none. She's like, exactly. How many fighters did they have at Golden Boy prior to you arriving there? I was like, none. She's like, exactly. If you took that team there, you can take this team to wherever you want to go. And I was like, damn. I remember we were in the kitchen at our current house, and I was like, wow. She's like, that makes a good point. And I think I was drinking a cup of coffee. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to sit down with my team. So sure enough, I sat down with Chuy. Well, his name is Jesus Gutierrez, but we call him Chuy.
Sure.
And Frank Barajas sat down. We met together at the gym, at our current gym. I was like, hey, look, guys, it's like, I'm getting that itch. You know, it has nothing to do with money. It's just, I want to win that world title. I want to set out to do something that I've been dreaming since I was 13. I was like, would you guys want to be in my corner? And right away, they were like, well, hell yeah. I was like, let's do it. So then I was like, all right, let's do it then. So we started training. You know, and we had a fight last year, back in December. We were training for the fight. Everything was going good. My brother-in-law passed away. You know, and I was
sorry
like,
to hear that.
Thank you. And you know, it hurt me. It hurt me too, because my brother and I, we were close. I'm close to all my brother-in-laws. So you know, and then also too, I had to ask myself. My wife has always been there for me, through thick and thin, win or lose, no matter what. She's always been there. Now she's had this tough setback. Am I really gonna leave her to go back to the ring? So I pulled out of that fight, went with my wife, and then, you know, I think it worked out to my benefit, because that same promoter that was offering me that fight, they're like, oh, you know, they backtracked and then this and that. So I reached out to my boy, my best friend. Well, not my best friend, he's part of my circle, Robert Diaz. You know, I don't trust anybody in this sport more than Robert Diaz. And sure enough, I reached out to him. We sat down. I was like, hey, look, Robert, I want to come back, you know, I want this. And he asked me, he was very blunt. He's like, hey, do you want to come back for the money, or do you want to come back to actually win? And I was like, no, Robert. I was like, I have money saved up. I have a house, you know. the money is the least of my worries. I want to win a world title. He's like, all right, that's all I want to hear. Let's move on. Came back in April. We got a knockout. You know, we were supposed to come back another time, but we got this fight offered. They asked me, said, what do you think? I didn't even have to think about it. I said, let's do it. Nick Ball is a hell of a fighter, undefeated fighter. I haven't seen the fight against Ray Vargas, but I heard it was more than likely it should have gone his way. So in my eyes or my ears, should be no draws, a two-time champion, if you really think about it.
Unified, yeah.
WBC and the WBA, in my opinion. So we're up against an undefeated world champion. That should be a unified champion. This is what keeps me up at night, in a good way, not in a bad way. You know, because I want to go out there and I want to win.
And this desire, this hunger to realise this dream that you've had since you were 13 years old, at this stage, is this about your kids being able to tell people, hey, my dad did it, he was a world champion? Is it about things like that? Do things like that motivate you when you're out on these runs, when you're training, about how the story continues?
You know, it's funny that you bring that up because I never actually thought about it. Honestly, look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I do everything to benefit my family, but something like this is not for a financial gain. This is for a personal goal. This is to tell myself, not to show off, not to brag about it, not to be out and downsize people. This is to tell myself that I knew I can do it. And I'm fighting against a guy that's a legitimate champion. He didn't win this belt by fighting. I mean, obviously he fought for it against somebody that was for the vacant, but he's a legitimate champion. It's not like he fought somebody that had 5-10 losses and won it. You know what I mean? It's like he actually went out there and he earned this world title. So for me to fight for it and beat him means a lot more to me.
Are you a fan of Nick Ball?
Yeah, I'm a fan of Nick Ball, you know, but once we go in that ring, you know, that's going to go out the window.
It just feels like one of those fights where it's just guaranteed action, guaranteed fireworks. I was watching clips of your fight with Ray Vargas and you were hunting him down, you were really going after him, and it reminded me of Nick Ball's fight with Ray Vargas where he's hunting him down, he's going after him. So you've got two hunters in there. What do you get?
You get the movie Predators, two predators going after each other, you know, which it should be a fun fight to watch. But to me, I'm not telling myself, you know, I can't go out there and say, oh, I have to make it exciting. I got to do whatever I have to do to win. That's my mindset. You know, whether it starts off in your training, your eating, your mentality, everything has to be positive. Everything has to be to win, you know. And like I always tell people, because people always put that pressure, including myself in a lot of my world championships, what if? No, man, I've already lost. I've already seen what happens when I lost. I'm okay with it. Everything that happens when you lose is you lose a bunch of fake people that you have around you. Everybody that is by your side, win or lose, those are the people that I want to have by my side. Those are the people that are still there. Those are the people that I want to win this world championship for, you know, and myself more important than anything, because I told myself I want to be a world champion when I was 13.
So the losses that you have at world title level, Ray Vargas, MJ as well, they've helped you leading up to this? You feel like it makes you a better fighter, better prepared? Because this is your third world title shot, yeah, where you're boxing at this level. Do you feel more prepared than ever?
I do, you know. But everyone always can say stuff, and then once they go into the ring, it falls apart. But I really do. A lot of people always say that, which I'm going to agree completely, you learn more from your losses than you do from your wins, you know, especially when you learn about yourself as a person. That's more important, you know. Are you going to quit when things get hard? When you're tired, it's 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th round, are you going to quit? I haven't quit, and I'm not going to quit, you know. So those are the things you learn the most. With the MJ fight, I was so disappointed that they stopped the fight because I didn't feel like it should have been stopped. I didn't feel like I was.
There wasn't long left, was there, in that fight? And it
was a minute and 23 seconds. But I remember I looked up. Well, a minute and 16 seconds. I was so pissed. I even told the referee, like, I said, what the fuck? You know, I was like, what the fuck? And I looked at the thing, like, and he just waved it off, and I was pissed, you know, because I felt like I could have kept going, but that's not my job.
Do you think he will underestimate you? Because if his current fights, so his last fight, Ray Ford, brilliant unbeaten American on a massive show in Saudi. Before that, Ray Vargas, his first world title fight. Before that, Isaac Dogboe, former world champion at super bantamweight as well. Do you think he'd underestimate you heading into this and maybe think, oh, this guy, he hasn't won a world title kind of thing. He retired a couple of years ago and now he's come back. Do you think he'll think that at all?
Honestly, I don't think so. I think when I see Nick Ball, especially from what I've heard, this is just what I heard about the working class from the UK, from Liverpool. Everyone here is a hard-working person, so I don't see him underestimate. I see him coming to fight, which that's what I expect. Yeah. So I think he's gonna come ready to fight. I don't see him overseeing me.
And what are your advantages?
That I'm hungry for that title, I would say. Experience. I mean, I have almost twice as much fights as him, but I'm just gonna have to say my hunger. I'm here to win a fight. This is, in my opinion, this is a way I've always wanted to try and win a world title, by going into the world champion's backyard and taking it from them. There's a reason why I accepted the fight in his backyard.
He does this thing in between rounds. Most fighters, they sit down on their stool.
He stands up.
What do you think of that? Because I've asked him before, and he says that sometimes he'll be standing up and he can see his opponent and he can see their heart break, knowing that they've got to get up and this guy is still a ball of energy.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
No, I mean, if that's what he's trying to do mentality-wise, it's going to work for his benefit. It's okay. For me, it's if I sit down on the corner, I'm not telling him that I'm tired or I can't keep going, I'm just going to get, I mean, if he doesn't know by then, by me coming to his backyard, then that's okay. That's where the experience starts to kick in.
I've heard you say you're treating every fight like your last. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's every fight, because you never know whether there's some circumstances that can happen to you outside of the ring that could prevent you from fighting. For example, car accidents, stuff like that. So I always treat every fight like if it's my last, because you never know your surroundings. You never know what's going to happen in the future.
Does that make you more dangerous, that you've got that mentality?
Honestly, I have no idea, because I can't say I'm going to be, I'm just going to say that I'm here to win. I'm not here to be an opponent. I'm not here just to take a quick payday and go back home. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to give it everything I have. That's what I'm here. That's what makes me dangerous.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Ronny.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Good stuff.